See, the reason you keep restarting your life every single Monday is because you're building your life around a motivation, not a system. See, I think all of us that are sitting behind that screen or have looked into the mirror, as men specifically, we can say that we have been so fucking motivated to do something that it felt like the whole entire world could not stop us. Right? We looked in the mirror and said, dude, this is the year, like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Like, I have this master plan. We're motivated to do it and we'll grind for a few days. We looked in that mirror and been like, dude, I'm ready to have a fucking six pack. Like, I'm gonna be the shit by June, right? This is like April. We've been motivated. And this is a Monday. We do these things, right? And then a few days goes by and we're grinding, dude. Everything's just 100 miles per hour. We're working our ass off super, super hard. Wednesday comes around and then it's like the same thing. We don't want to as bad, but we're still really motivated. And then Friday comes around, Saturday comes around, and it's like, I want to do some work, right? I'm still very motivated. So motivated. But I did all hard work, so I'm going to kind of relax Saturday night. And you wake up Sunday and you completely just bullshit the whole day. And then you try to tap back into that same motivation, that same just efficiency that you had that in the beginning, and it never ever came back, right? You stopped eating the healthy meals. You stopped studying for hours. You stopped building that mastermind plan that was going to make you this magical millionaire. I know all of you had this moment. Every man, real man, can look into the mirror and have that moment where they think they're just going to be the fucking, the golden child and they're going to retire their mother. But a lot of it fades because so many people are just willing to have this feeling and act as if it's going to change their whole entire life, but it does not. And I learned that the hard way, right? Growing up, I was severely obese. I was fat as shit, 245 pounds, 5'11". Like, I was not severely, but I was fat. And so many different times I'd had motivation, like, you know, women would start to talk to me more. So I'd be like, man, I got to lose more weight so I can get more girls. Like, I'm motivated. So then I'd eat maybe healthier. I would eat less. You know, I would eat less for 3, 4, 5 days, 3 days, right? 4 days. And the weekend would come around and I'm like back to my old ways. I'm drinking a gallon of Turkey Hill lemonade, right? That doesn't show that I want to lose weight. Clearly that fucking feeling didn't really matter to me as much, you know? It was kind of bullshit, right? Same thing, right out of high school. You know, I went to college, I had A's and B's, I dropped out, just randomly dropped out. I was like, man, this is not for me. I was unhappy, you know? And my mastermind plan, the motivation was, I'm gonna day trade, I'm gonna make all this money. But I did not, because that motivation, that feeling when I was not actually wanting to put the work in, when I was tired, it was Friday night, and all I can think about is let's just go out and get high with the boys and just geek up. You know, let's go to the bar and have a few drinks. That sounded much better than sitting in my house and learning how to day trade. And I never was able to amount to anything. Because every single time on this loop, this feedback, I just kept getting this feeling of having such a desire to do something. And it never ever amounted to anything because that feeling was never able to go long term. Right, I want to picture something right now. Just picture a fire. Close your eyes. I want you guys to close your eyes and you're starting a fire. You know, your family wants you to gather a fire tonight and, you know, they want you to make the fire as big as possible, you know, for the neighborhood. We're gonna have all their friends over. We're gonna do all this, right? And you build a pit in the backyard, and you know you're getting ready to start that fire. And then you know you gather all your supplies. You have your wood. You know you have your fire starter and your fuel, and you know you have the bricks that lay around the fire. Right? We're building such a beautiful fire right now. And to start the fire, you know, all of us can think about what we need. The first thing that probably comes to your mind is a lighter or fuel, right? So that's what we do. You know, we grab our fuel, we grab our fire, we put all the wood out to start the fire. And we throw a bunch of fuel on there and then match it and boom, a giant fire lights up. But then, since I was so focused on having that fire started, I forgot at the store I didn't get enough wood. So now I'm scrambling. I'm looking for sticks across the yard. I'm scrambling, looking for things to keep this fire going. I have paper in my backpack and downstairs. You know, I have sticks that are falling off the trees, and it's because it's the middle of fall. And miraculously, the fire was so big in the beginning, but since I didn't have the supplies necessary to keep the fire going, it burnt out. And now the neighborhood's upset because I don't have the best fire like my family wanted me to get. See, but person B, let's imagine this. Same scenario, but they thought about, I need to keep the fire going. You know, I'm going to use wood, big, thick logs, and I'm going to put them on every 30 minutes to 45 minutes to keep this fire going. I have my fuel and my starter, but that's not the most important part. I have the wood. I'm going to keep it going every few hours. Keep it going. It can go for like 10 hours straight because I have so much supplies of wood. That is how your life is right now when you're trying to find success. You are trying to be that person that's so focused on the fuel starter. That is what motivation is. That starts the fire. It gets it burning so high. The whole neighborhood could see your fire. But if you don't have the right supplies, and you're going to be scrambling for the motivation again. You're going to be scrambling for that feeling to continue to fucking work your ass off. You're going to be scrambling to find it because all you had was sticks and paper to keep that fire going. But that person that follows a system and is disciplined and focuses on putting the work in when he's tired. He comes home and he's been craving Chipotle burrito all day with the queso on top and the guacamole in every single bite. And he works his ass off regardless of how he feels. He doesn't eat the Chipotle. He eats the meal prep in his fridge because he wants to have the six-pack by June, right? That is what matters. When you have a system that you can follow that puts wood on the fire consistently, that is what's going to bring you success. And I learned that the hard way, right? And the biggest thing I will say to gather your wood, to gather your system, to make it built around you is make it fulfill and excel you rather than take away and, remove things from your life. See, so many people think, we'll use the six-pack as an example. Man, I'm going to be shredded this summer. It's April. I'm about to start my 2-month cut. So by June 1st, I'm diced up, right? And then, they remove all the food they've ever enjoyed on their bulk. They removed all the fast food they've been eating, that sweet treat that they have at night. They don't drink at all anymore. They do all these things. And then one weekend goes wrong when you get upset, you get pissed off. Maybe your boss cussed you out, and now you're pissed off at work. You're like, man, I need to go home and grab a drink with the boys. Forget about work. So you get drunk that night. And you come home and then you snack off and you eat all the food that you've been craving. And then, miraculously, all that motivation that you had in the beginning just failed. Because you didn't have the correct system that supported your life, not took away your life. So when you're building a system, you need to really, 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 and I need you guys to remember this, remember that you're adding to your life, you're not removing it. So for me, example, right? Great example. I love, and I know all of you guys watching this, you had this one breakfast item that you loved as a kid. And if you weren't a breakfast person, think dinner, right? Dinner, you love Dino Nuggets. You loved corn dogs. For me, breakfast, I love Jimmy Dean's breakfast bowls, bro. Adding the hot sauce on top of that breakfast bowl, I'd eat 2 of them as my big back. I would mix it up, add a little bit extra tater tots on the top, put some hot sauce. That was my shit. And when I went to lose weight, I couldn't even imagine getting rid of that. Not having a breakfast bowl in the morning, I had those 3 times a week. Not having a breakfast bowl in the morning, bro, no way I could lose weight. But what did I do instead? I added to the lifestyle that I wanted to have. I wanted to continue to be healthy and maybe have that six-pack down the road. I wanted to have the muscle. I wanted to be respected by my peers for my physique. So rather than just removing my childhood joy of the Eggo or the breakfast bowl, forgive me, I made a healthy alternative, I was like, well, I see there's eggs, potatoes, pork sausage, a lot of cheese. This is 470 calories for the bowl. I can make a healthier one. No way I can't. So instead of eggs, I'll have egg whites. Instead of cheese, I'll do low-fat cheese. And I'll put a little bit less. Sausage, I'll do turkey sausage. Potatoes, I'll make my own. What did I do? I just made the thing that I fucking enjoyed my whole life and made it healthy and supported my lifestyle. Right? If you enjoy having drinks with buddies on the weekend, support your lifestyle. Don't do it every weekend, right? That's clear. That's common sense. But it's okay to go out and have a few drinks, not get shit-faced. Right? Rather than having beer, have a light beer. Rather than having, a tequila sunrise, have a tequila water, right? And don't drink too many of them. Just drink a few, right? It's just self-control. It's the little things. Add to your lifestyle. Don't take away from it. And one of the other things I will really tell you is you need to have a burning desire of what's going to wake your ass up when you're tired, right? Most people go to the gym and to look good. They go to the gym to have respect, confidence when they talk to people, the basic stuff. For me, that was not my motto, right? Because let's say I got the girl of my dreams. Let's say I look in the mirror and I can pull up my shirt and I have a six-pack. Once I had those things, why would I keep going to the gym? That's motivation. The motivation fades once I get the reward. So I need to have a burning desire why I'm going to show up to the gym even when I have a six pack to keep this shit going. Even when, I'm super tired and I worked a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. shift and I have to show up to the gym after and bench 225. I don't want to do that shit. You know why I do it? Because it's therapy. That is a deeper rooted reason, because that's what's going to clear my head after a 12-hour day. That's what's going to lower my cortisol and give me the dopamine and serotonin that I need. Is go to the gym and go hard. Rather than looking good, I go to the gym for myself, to love myself and support myself as therapy. So you need to have a deeper rooted surface level. You can't have a surface level reason why to do your goals. You need a deeper rooted reason why. Why do you want to go to the gym? Is it because Becky curved you when you were in 7th grade and she called you fat in the whole entire rest of school until you graduated 12th grade? You just thought that you were just like this low confidence piece of shit. You couldn't talk to any female? Right now, that's why you want to go to the gym. It's not because you want to look good. Why do you want to look good? Think about that, right? And sometimes it takes more reflecting from someone else like myself or someone else that you know personally to reflect why you want these things. Why do you want to drink on the weekend, right? Is it because, you lack the confidence to even talk in a social setting without that fake confidence, right? Or do you want to drink on the weekends because you just enjoy your friends and you think it's fun? There's a reason behind everything, right? There is a deep-rooted reason why behind everything. And once you can reflect and learn why you need that thing, it's going to make everything so much more enjoyable. And there's so many other reasons, but you need to make your system based around you. It can't be someone else's system. What worked for me is not going to work for you. It needs to be fit around what your goal is and what you enjoy. And hopefully this video woke you up, because that motivation is going to fade. It only can last so long. I've been motivated the last few weeks to do shit. I want to have the best jump shot in the gym when I play basketball. That motivation faded, so now I have to lean on a system like a workout routine or something to get me there consistently, or a reason why. I'm sick of getting my ass beat when I play niggas one-on-one, so I gotta get better at shooting. That's an actual better reason why than I just want to score buckets, or that motivation stays there forever. I'm sick of that feeling that one person gave me when I lost 7 games in a row, multiple times, week on week basis to him. It was humiliating. So I never want to feel that again. So I'm going to show up and practice my jump shot, right? The motivation doesn't last forever. I promise you guys, it does not. Because when your motivation fades, you go back to square one and you're sitting right back on the couch, eating your chips, watching Netflix and not doing shit, right? And if this video hit home for you guys and you still don't know, how do I build a system? How do I help myself and pour into myself and understand why I want to do the things that I want to do, then click that first link in my bio. We can get on a call. I can help you guys figure out, because that's exactly what I do for myself and I do for others. I've been doing it for years. I run a personal training business in person. I've literally took myself from 0.1 to 0.100. I've been at the bottom of the totem pole and have climbed myself up to be where I am in front of this camera. I've been doing it for years. So if you want to figure out how to actually reflect and learn, have a system, I can help you guys build one, right? And it's free of charge. Click the link and you can just schedule it with me. Or, just DM me. I answer all my DMs. If you DM me on Instagram, I will help you build that system, because that's what I'm passionate about. Because I remember the feeling of waking up every single Monday and just being in this loop like, why am I not shit? Because I consistently lean on motivation. And I will help you do the same to actually not lean on motivation and actually build a system for yourself.